Hi everyone, welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. This is your host Steve, and in this month's installment of the Eagle Moss Build Your Own Back to the Future DeLorean, in this month's pack I have received this huge box, which I think is because one of the issues, which is issue 10, includes the frame. So this is a larger box, more than usual, that I'm used to seeing coming in from Eagle Moss, and in a moment we will get a closer look at issue 10, which includes the frame here. And wow, I am very impressed so far with what this kit has provided so far. It's been a lot of fun and a blast to build. So stay tuned, I'll be right back with this month's installment of the DeLorean. Welcome back. Here is issue 7 of the Eagle Moss Build Your Own Back to the Future DeLorean. I'll be right back. Here's the magazine for issue 7, and here are the kit parts for issue 7. I'll take these out. We'll get a closer look at these. These look like all the parts for the steering linkages, so I'll be right back and we'll get a closer look. Everything here has been separately wrapped. I'll take these out, we'll identify all the parts and get a closer look. Here are the parts for issue 7, and we received the front plate, the steering rack, the pull rod, the pinion, and the FM screws. All the parts I just mentioned are metal, and then we received the boots, and these are made of a rubber material. I'll be right back and we'll get these built up. Let's look at the magazine first. With your subscription of the Eagle Moss Build the Back to the Future DeLorean, you'll receive this fantastic magazine, which contains all the information you'll need to build the kit and background information on the Back to the Future movie series. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Eagle Moss Back to the Future DeLorean collection, and you'll be very happy you've done so. I put a link in the description below as to how you can go ahead and subscribe to this model for yourself. It's readily available here in the US, so don't pass it by. Let's look at the magazine a little closer, and you can see right away they give us a nice little table of contents on what's included. They give us an idea on what parts we received with this issue. Then we get right into the build, and this time we're going to build the steering rack step by step. And then there's an article here about actor James Tolkien, and it's called No Slacking. So that's he's famous. I remember seeing him in another movie about a certain F-14 pilot. And we'll flip the page here. They get into an article of Into the Vortex from the Industrial Light and Magic folks, and how they conceived and talked about time travel with this car. And then we got a very good article here on the early years of Michael J. Fox, and very nice photography here included. Very good. And then we've got an article here about George McFly. And then they give us a preview of the next issue and the parts that are coming up with the next issue. And that's going to show here on the back cover. And you'll know that with every issue they provide this with you and let you know what's happening with the next issue. So I'll be right back, and let's get this baby built up, and then we'll go from there. So as a recap of what we have received all the way up to issue 6, these are the parts that we have gathered so far, which firstly is this outstanding rear bumper and rear panel assembly. Now the only thing I didn't do here is I did not install the stickers for the registration on the plates. I'm going to do that a little bit later when I'm finishing up with this model. But this is a very heavy piece and made of metal and plastic. We also built the Mr. Fusion reactor, and that was fun and quite intense to do. Another part of Mr. Fusion reactor, we received the left front fender and we installed some of the moldings on that. We assembled one of the wheels and tires. We did get a screwdriver with one of the initial issues. And then the front suspension, which was very intense. It was fun to build both of these and really was a challenge. So let's get back to issue 7 and start assembling the steering assembly. We'll be using this flat-headed FM screw for this build. Step 1 has us install the steering rack and pinion assembly. The steering rack appears to be symmetrical on both sides. I measured them, so it doesn't really matter which side you install the pinion onto. The pinion itself has a distinct shape to it, like this, but in the instructions they have you install it just like that, which brings it to where it kind of goes in a downward way right there. And what they have you do, they have you slide that onto the steering rack like such, and it allows it to move back and forth once the screw is installed. So I'll be right back and we'll get this installed. Okay, we'll go ahead and install the FM screw on this rack and pinion. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add some lip balm to help the screw go into it a little easier. And it's not going to take much. I'm just going to put some in the hole here. Just like that. And that should help us out. Next, I'm going to make sure that it's situated correctly, just like the instructions show, like this. Goes on top. And we will put our screw in. Go ahead and do that now. Put the screw in. And it's just going to help it screw down a little bit better. I'll look at it from the side. You could use Vaseline if you want. It just helps screw it in a little easier, and it does get tighter and tighter as you go. And that's it. All secure. Next we'll go to step 2. In step 2 we have our pull rod, and the way they have it installing is where it's kind of going in an up fashion, and that's going to be installed much the same as the other. Just like I did before, I'm going to put some lip balm on the hole. Just like that. And just as before, we're going to install an FM screw. And remember, we want this to go kind of in an up angle. So that's going to go down on that, just like that. I will hold that in place while we get the screw started. There we go. The lip balm definitely helps. And there we go. And in step 3 and 4, we will install the rubber boots onto the rack assembly. And these just simply go right over the top, just like that. And we got another one on the other side we have to do. And there you have it. This completes issue 7. We have completed the buildup of the steering rack mechanism, and that looks really nice with the rubber boots and all that installed on it. We didn't use this brace, front brace yet. That's going to get installed in a later issue. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Eagle Moss. Build the DeLorean from Back to the Future. You won't regret it. Happy modeling, everybody. Take care.